afternoon to our viewing audience. Baham Health is pleased again to present another series in our wellness initiative. And we have an exciting evening planned for you with Bodine. So we say stay tuned as she takes us through the scrumptious, meals and how we can benefit from those. So without further ado, we welcome our guests for this evening, Bodine Victoria.
Hello to everybody that is taking the time from their busy schedule to be here with myself on the invitation of Bahama Health and your committee as well as your executive board. Now, I just want to say that this is a cause that is near and dear to my heart. Being I don't know, I have to think about it. Some people may say a little plus size because I'm currently 215 pounds, right? It may not look so, but I'm 5'7", 215 pounds. I lost 2 pounds in the last couple of weeks because I was behaving a little bit. But coming from a family that is known for feeding the entire community, and my grandmother on the weekends, she is the house that you would go to if you wanted something to eat. She sold food. My Aunt Peggy, my Aunt Melanie, my Aunt Barbara's always inside the kitchen on a Saturday. And coming from that line of people from Exuma on both sides, this is important to me because I get to share what I know. Now, we only have 55 minutes. We have like an hour, and I want to get us started by eating our water. So the reason why I said that we're going to eat our water is because I know a lot of us don't like water. We don't like to drink water. I mean, I like to drink water. I exercise regularly, so I need water. But there are a few ways that we can take advantage of these seasonal fruits that we have and be able to incorporate them into our diet and supplement our water intake. But also, we're able to use them as a way for us to get our stomach kind of full with good nutrients as well as some hydration. And sometimes we can also include this as a little bit of sugar because we may think that we're very hungry, but we may be dehydrated. And dehydration shows up a lot of times like sugar craving. I don't know what the science is behind it. I just know that's what it is. So we're just going to eat our water. So we're going to start with 2 fruits. I think cucumber is a fruit. So 2 fruit that have water in it. And y'all, I cooking in a portion size, that's for Bodine because only me here. So I need nobody inside the comments trying to, well, she's only making a little bit. It's because it's my portion size, okay? Okay, so we're going to start right now with cutting up our cucumber. Put this line to the side. And my kitchen's small, so there's only so much space I have, okay? And I'm going to make sure that it's flat. I'm going to kind of cut it into cubes. And we're just going to do that. This is going to be very, very quick. Cut our cucumber up. And then after we cut our cucumber into cubes, we're going to cut our watermelon into cubes as well. Take some of this good, juicy. Yeah. Ooh, it's very cold and it's very sweet. So we have our juicy, good watermelon. very seasonal fruit as well that we're going to be using. And then I can stress some of y'all out right now. Also, I have the ability to read comments while I cook. So if you have any questions or comments, you can just drop it inside the chat. And as I have a moment, I'll look at them and try to answer your questions as we go, because we have a limited amount of time, okay? But essentially, this is what you want to do. I'll pull the cutting board back just slightly so you can see a bit more of it. All right? This is what you want to do. You want to cut them up. I have my handy dandy Pyrex dish, being the Bahamian toter that I am, and I'm going to take these pieces, going to put them in here. I already rinsed everything, by the way. Okay, we're going to put these cucumber pieces in here. Now, I can stress some of y'all out right now. This happens to be some red onions. Yes, we're going to eat our water. You don't have to. But for me, like, part of the deliciousness is the onions. And then we're also, let's rest this over here. We're going to take a few basil leaves. Now, before y'all get excited, let me tell you why you really, really, really need to have plants in your garden, the garden that I personally don't have. So I rely on my neighbors for things like this. You need to have plants in your garden. It's okay, Deborah. We're making plenty of things today. You want to have plants in your garden because you need to have very fresh herbs. These tend to have medicinal purposes. And because I'm not a doctor, I'm not going to tell you about the medicinal purposes, but you'll find that adding fresh elements to whatever it is that you're eating is going to help you to enjoy the meal a lot better. As I rinse, okay? And you also just want to make sure that the experience of eating is one that makes you want to get into the kitchen and cook. Believe it or not, these things that we're doing here are things that you get charged maybe like $40, $50. What's the cost of brunch nowadays? $40 or $50 for brunch, when you go to different restaurants. And I mean, watermelon, you could get like $3 watermelon. You could get a $2 cucumber. This basil plant itself was like $5. And I'm going to have that for a few servings. And then, like sugar, lime, 33 cents. You save your money, but you also manage to have something that's a bit healthy, a very healthy option. I forget to roll my sour lime. So now what we're going to do is, now this is some monk fruit sweetener, okay? I tend to use sugar substitutes because I want to have the sugar, but I don't want to have the full effect of the sugar. I hope that makes sense to a lot of people. And then I also want to moderate because I don't feel like I should have to cut it out. So, Deborah, your first question is, what are we making? We're making a cucumber and watermelon salad because we're going to eat our water. And the purpose of this is to help us not feel as though we need to eat all of the food, okay? Because sometimes we do. So we're going to take that into the bowl. Y'all don't have to dirty up all y'all dishes, but I'm trying to be a little bit professional right now, all right? Then we're going to take our lime. Somebody give me this. Now, let me tell you something. If this works me too hard, I ain't going to use it no more. Take our lime. Yep. Okay, it's pretty easy. Look at that. Oh, I think I like this more. You're welcome, Deborah. All right. So we're going to take our lime. We squeezed our lime. Okay, then. We fancy. And we're just going to lightly mix this all together very quickly. I still have more watermelon inside this bowl, so I think I'm going to add it in there. Mix it very quickly. And we're just going to pour it over the top. Now, if you want to know how much sugar I use a quarter of a teaspoon of sugar. And that's more than enough when you consider that the watermelon itself has it has sweetened. It has sweetened. The watermelon itself is sweet. And then you have the crispiness of the onion, the purple onion, which is better for a fresh salad. Thank you, Trivia. All right. And then you have the freshness of the basil. So this is something, minus the onions, believe it or not, that you can use in your water itself if you don't want to drink regular water. So this is a simple, very, very simple summer salad. And it's something that will take you 3 minutes to make. So we're going to move on to the next thing. Let me put this inside a different container. One moment. If you have any questions, I have the tablet here. So I'll be looking for your questions as well, people. Let's see. We have 44 participants. Look at y'all. Now, the next thing that we're going to be making, hi, Anthea. The next thing that we're going to be making is something that's going to take us a minute or two to cook. And that's going to be a little bit of bean and rice. And I'm going to show you what my trick for homemade bean and rice is. Okay? Ooh, child. Look at that. We look all colorful and summery. I love it. I'm going to rinse this bowl up because I want it for something else. The reason why and we're going to stick this inside the refrigerator because the fruit is going to macerate, which means that because of the lemon or the lime juice in it, it's going to create more juices. So it's going to be very, very refreshing. 1 second. Okay. Now, the second thing that we are going to be preparing is going to be our bean and rice. The reason why I said bean and rice is because I looked in the cupboard. I looked inside the cupboard and I realized I don't have any pigeon peas, but what I do have though, is rice. I have a million beans. And I also have this is my rice cooker, everybody. I have rice. I have beans. I have some salt pork. I have some salt beef brine. I'll tell you about that in just a second. And I have a few other things that we're going to be mixing in here. And I know a lot of you have the question about the rice. The question about the rice happens to be, so how can I make my Bahamian rice a little lighter? That's very, very easy, actually. It's easier than, a lot of people really do understand. So, Knowles, Anthea is asking, do the watermelon complement each other? The cucumber actually gives you the fresh. The watermelon gives you the juicy. And then when you add the lime and a little bit of sugar and the basil to it, you get a very, very fresh salad. And believe it or not, the purple onion gives you the sweetness as well, but a little bit of tang. So it's a perfect balance of flavors. Again, if you just want to make this something that is good for infusing into the water, then you just add everything except for the onions to the water, let it steep, and then you have something that's refreshing. And I personally eat the watermelon and the cucumber when it's already steeped into the water. So that's just me because I'm greedy. All right, so let me let you guys look at this now. Here, I can show you all how to make a lazy rice. So here, I have my pinto beans, right? This is about half a cup. It was half a cup uncooked, so it's about a cup. It's about a cup of cooked pinto beans. We ain't making no brown rice today. It's going to be bean and rice because we ain't got the time for brown rice. But what we do have the time for is some very finely chopped, and I know my light is very close, but what you want to do if you want to cook this very quickly, this is no more than a tablespoon of finely chopped fat back. So see, I can have my fat, but I just ain't gonna fill the whole pot with it, all right? Just saying. So we're going to put our tablespoon of, when I say it's finely chopped, I mean like I literally chop this extremely finely because I don't want to have a whole lot and I want it to be able to cook in the rice cooker. So that's 1 source of oil. Now, we have a source of salt. The pinto beans already have the salt. So if you're watching your hypertension, then you have to be cognizant of the amount of salt that you're adding to whatever it is that you're cooking. So for me, 1 tablespoon of salt pork plus the salt in the beans means that Bodine is not going to add, after she does this, any more salt to this rice. If it ain't in there, it ain't gonna be inside here because I need to protect my blood pressure. Okay? Now, what you're looking at here happens to be my salt beef brine, okay, or salt beef broth. A lot of us take the salt beef and we throw all of the water off. There's no need for that, to be very honest with you. What you do is, as my mommy taught me, this fat at the top here, you can actually dispose of this because there's no need for you to have it. I just took this out of the refrigerator, so it's still here. But dispose of the fat. You don't need the extra fat. To be honest, you just really want the meat and the flavor, but I didn't use all the meat inside soup. So we're going to take not even a quarter cup. We're going to take maybe about 2 to 3 tablespoons of the salt beef brine, and we're going to add it. Again, if you want the meat, then I would suggest that you just use the meat and not the broth. If you want just the flavor, use the broth, but don't put the meat in, especially if you're going to be using the salt pork. I know some of y'all like, what is happening? I said what I said, y'all. We got to lighten up. There's like, honestly, we have a whole lot of foods that we create that doesn't need to be as heavy and as indulgent as we tend to make it traditionally. Don't worry, it can taste good. 1 second. So from there, I also have some onions for another recipe. So the things that are going to take a bit longer to cook, we're going to deal with them right now. And so what I did is I have some caramelized onions. What I do is I make a batch of these and then I stick it inside the fridge, because when I really want to just have something nice to eat, I don't want to have to pull out the pot and then saute things and have the whole place smelling like food. So we put the onions in here. We're also going to get our thyme. All right, so I have some dried thyme. Gonna be lazy. I could just throw the whole thing in there. Right? Okay. And then, guys, I'll check the chat in just a second. We're going to add a bay leaf. So just a small bay leaf. We're going to add, what else are we adding in here? We're going to add some black pepper, because I like black pepper in my rice. And now I'm going to take a tomato and I'm going to cut it up. Okay, so we have a nice juicy tomato. We know tomatoes are good for us. So what we want to do is take a tomato. I actually just eat the end of the tomato. Gonna cut it up. I maybe don't need the whole tomato, so I'll put a little piece over on the side. All right. Gonna dice up your tomato a little bit. And I'm just going to put it in there. Now, here's what I also like about the rice cooker. If you don't have a rice cooker, then I would suggest that you get yourself a non-stick pot. The non-stick pot itself is going to help you to be able to cut down on the amount of oil that you use. So you would saute down everything that I've already put into this rice. Some of y'all probably wonder, where the onion powder? I'm not putting it in there. Where the garlic powder? I'm going to get the dry garlic. Well, the roasted garlic now. All right? All right. And here, again, which makes my life easier and it keeps my budget down, I tend to make my own roasted garlic. I throw that inside the pot. Like literally, this is my next pot. So we're doing a very quick cook, okay? Again, very, very quick cook. I know some of y'all are like, what is happening? Trust me. It ain't gonna be dark brown, but it could be nice and pretty. So I don't want to tilt it too much. This is what the inside looks like. Don't judge me, I'm not washing my rice. All right, we're gonna take half a cup of rice. Now, you can use brown rice, but brown rice is actually going to take you a little bit longer to cook. The next thing is, when you're making bean and rice, I said it once, I'll say it again, there are supposed to be beans in it, okay? There are supposed to be peas in it. So your bean and rice and your peas and rice should have peas. And that actually is going to give you a little bit more of the protein you need, and the fiber is going to keep you a lot fuller, while you still get the satisfaction of eating All right. Okay. So here's my water. I'm going to put about half a cup of water in here to start. I don't want this to be too friendly. And cooking it in the rice cooker is going to free up my hands on the stove as well. So in 21 minutes, we have 2 things done. The other things are not going to take much time either. Okay? Going to put this over to the side here. And hopefully, by the time we're finished with this session, we'll be ready to go. All right, now, we're going to rinse, and we're going to move on to the third thing. And I know we talked about macaroni. So let's talk about this macaroni. Let me get a napkin. Wipe the tomato juice off of my cutting board. All right, so let's talk about this fake macaroni, okay? Talk about the fake macaroni. I know many of you have been seeing a lot of people make cauliflower mac, all right? And they call it macaroni and cheese. The truth of the matter is, cauliflower is not macaroni. So I'm not even going to encourage that level of blasphemy here. But what I will encourage is the notion that you can have your cheese and you can have your macaroni experience. Because really and truly, do we eat macaroni for the actual Muller's macaroni noodle? Do we? Like, do we really? That's an important question that I need to ask. My answer is, thank you, Grandma's House Cultural Center for everybody. I don't know who's behind that, but the truth is, I think we eating macaroni for the Muller's macaroni, okay? I ain't gonna lie. I don't think that's what we're doing. So I'm actually going to set my oven to bake, and I'm going to let it heat up. Now, here in this bowl, we have roasted cauliflower. The key to this is what you do is you take the cauliflower and you roast it with just a little bit of salt. You do not add any water. You don't need any butter. Now, here's why we call this lightening this up, okay? I'm going to start my stove now. This is my pot. Oh, I should have started this with, hello, everybody. I'm Bodine Victoria. Welcome to my kitchen, and this is my pot. I forgot, but technically, we're not on my YouTube show right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to make our creamy base, all right? To do that, guess what? What have I told you? I don't even need to add any more oil to this because we have all the oil in the cheese, and then we're going to be using the milk. Plus, we can have our cauliflower, which is our macaroni, and macaroni. It's not macaroni. Our cauliflower, which is going to be our base. So I'm going to turn this down, and I'm actually going to start by heating up the half and half. I'm also going to take my shrimp and my little piece of snapper out the fridge because you should never cook cold meat. So that probably should have been one of the first things that I did. Okay, so here we are. We're going to take our half and half, and we're going to put it inside our saucepan on medium heat, okay? Now, I don't want to tilt the camera a little bit so you all can see, so because I don't want to touch it. But we have our half and half here, and we're now going to dissolve our mozzarella and our cheddar cheese in it. Hold on, turn it this way so at least y'all can see that. So that was our mozzarella, which was very, very cheesy going in. Okay. Gotta be careful not to break my good things. Ooh. Y'all, please don't use, hey, Madam Fat, please don't use our, your metal spoon inside your nonstick pans to go and kind of damage the pan. So I'm lightly doing this. And we're going to let this break apart. But what we're also going to do is we're going to season it. Now, I have some pepper flakes here. Listen, I have ghost pepper inside the drawer. We're just going to use the pepper flakes. Okay, I like pepper flakes. And I'm also going to mash up this little bit of garlic that I roasted earlier. so that it can incorporate really, really well. Okay, turn this up just a little bit more. All right, so we're going to do that. Because you kind of want it to be flavorful. You're done in getting the whole macaroni, so it needs to have some kind of flavor. And then we're also going to put in my roasted onion pieces. You want to do this with a yellow onion, but lazy me, use the red one because I already cut the red one. All right? And, ooh, child, I'm going to do a cheese pull for you guys in just a second so y'all can see just how, wow. So look, it's already getting nice and creamy. Now see that? This is what we're here for, right? I'm actually going to turn the stove down just a little bit because I don't want, when I put the egg in, to bind everything together for it to curdle. So one moment. Now, if you don't want to put in an egg, you don't have to put an egg in, but I just know that for me, this is probably going to need a binder. I also forgot the cheese for the topping. 1 second. Y'all know you gotta have the good block cheese. Y'all please don't buy the foolishness. Thank you, Miss Knowles. So yes, you want the good cheese pull. Watch me burn my hand on this pot because I have the metal spoon inside the pot. Sigh. Bahamian life. Okay, so now that that's there, just give you the rundown. You need the half and half for the creaminess. If you are not going to be using the macaroni, where's my mitten? See my mitten here. Okay, so if you're not going to be using the macaroni, the actual Muller's macaroni or what ready cut, whichever ready cut macaroni you have, then what you want to do is you want to ensure that you are just being a bit careful. You want to ensure that you're being very, very careful with the amount of cheese that you use. Cheese has salt. It has a lot of salt. So what we're doing right now is we're cutting down on the amount of salt, but we're also cutting down on the amount of carbs that are in there, especially if you want to have, let's say, a rice along with whatever it is that you're cooking. So you have your cauliflower. Going to add it in there. Don't mind the fact that, ooh, excuse me. Look at that. Look at that. So no butter, right? And we still need the egg because the egg has to bind it together. Otherwise, it'll be more of an American macaroni and cheese as opposed to like a Bahamian macaroni and cheese. I also need to get my grater. It's here. All right. So now that we have done that, let me just whisk she down a little bit. Whisk our egg down a little bit. Like I said, that's our binder. Move that a little bit there. All right. And now we're going to add it to our pot. Lord, I got to wash all these dishes. Only for y'all, though. So this is actually just one head of cauliflower, literally one head of cauliflower. Shavia, I say you say yes, yes, because you know we gotta have it together. Okay. So from there, here, my little serving dish. Gonna get my. This is the only oil I'm using. Right there. And into, oh, good egg. Now, again, ladies and gentlemen, let's just be cognizant of the fact that, yes, it is good for persons on keto trips. So let's also just be cognizant of the fact that even if you are on a ketogenic diet, even if you are trying to lose weight, because of the amount of cheese inside here, you still have to be aware of your portion sizes, and you have to be moderating what it is that you eat, okay? No carbs does not mean that you should no longer take care of yourself. And here we go with our cheese on top. So I'm just going to let this bake on 350, and then I'm going to put it on broil 10 minutes before the end of the show. All right? And so we can go from there. Look at that. So this is what it looks like right now. Good? We happy? There we go. So into the oven that goes. And again, I have it on 350. I'll put it on closer to 375. And then we'll go there. Thank you, Tanya. Thanks. Appreciate that. Let me put my cheese on the side. Now that we've done that, we have our rice on the stove, cauliflower mac inside the oven. Let's mix our coleslaw, because our coleslaw, it needs to be cold. I also need y'all to give me, okay, Deniska, for the bake actually helps you, okay, 1 second. So the bake actually helps to bring all of the ingredients together and give you that Bahamian mac and cheese experience that we like, you know, that solid mac. And then the broil is actually to help the cheese on the top form like the crust, okay? The recipes, Felicia, I got to write them down. I'm going off of the top of my head right now. I thought about it. It's on my board right here. I thought about it, but I didn't write it down. Y'all know Bahamians, we cook from memory. Okay, so let's get into our coleslaw, and this is going to be a point of contention for quite a few people, all right? Now, I want y'all to know, I am also dying at the fact that I have all these dishes inside my sink that need to be washed, and I can't wash them yet because we're on a mission. So y'all please forgive me. I dropped a little bit of egg on my cutting board, so I want to get that up, which is the reason for the napkin. I don't want to use the rag, and I don't want to use the sponge. Trying to be healthy. Our rice is cooking. Yes, we cook a little bit of this and a little bit of that. You are absolutely correct. Okay, guys, so help me decide. Are we doing a sweet coleslaw or are we doing a savory coleslaw? Help me decide. We got to talk quick. You're right. We want a sweet coleslaw. I see Tanya. Tara says sweet. Trivia says savory. Ooh, Noel says sweet. Tanishka says sweet. Melissa says sweet. Thank you, Grandma. All right, so we're going to do a sweet slaw. No problem. I got y'all. A bunch of sweet mouth behaviors. We only got 2 for savory so far. So, what if I told y'all that there's a couple ways to make coleslaw, and they do not all have to be savory? Now, for a savory slaw, I would say that you would use your half-ripe tomato, and you'd use your salt, your vinegar, you know, all the things that matter. Oh, I want y'all to see the rice. And this why. Now, listen, I ain't supposed to be doing this, right? But see if I could get y'all to see what the rice looks like so far. So the rice is cooking. When it cooks down, you're going to be able to see the big pieces of tomato and the beans and stuff like that. But it's going to be fluffy depending on how much water I put in it. All right. Now, what if I told you you don't need to put all the sugar inside your coleslaw? Don't mind me resting. This here, the stove is already cool. I need space. So let's just make our top, okay? We have our vinegar. All right. we have our sugar. So again, this is more of a monk fruit sugar. Say too much sugar in the kitchen. Now, I would say this is a 1 teaspoon. I'm not putting more than 1 teaspoon inside here. I would say that we can actually have this because we're going to have like fried fish, and then the sweetness of the coleslaw would probably be very nice, along with the savoriness of the rice. And then we're going to do a savory potato salad, which is why I didn't automatically say no. So let's get this show on the road. And then we're going to take our lime, because we're making a sweet slaw, and we need the lime actually to add to the sweetness of it, okay? Mix these together. I think I mixed too much of this, but we ain't gonna use all. All right. Put you back on the side here. Where's my spoon? All right, so mix it together. Now, here's a few things that you can add to your coleslaw if you want it to be a bit sweeter, all right? Number one, you can use non-fat yogurt. So the yogurt, yes, big Sunday dinner on a Wednesday. The yogurt, the unsweetened yogurt is actually going to be very good for your digestion. We're going to use our half-ripe, our mango. Yes, so this would be a natural sweet. This is good. Sugar, but some sugars are better than, some sugars are better than others for you. And I choose monk fruit sweetener because it is less like that aftertaste. I don't have it. Yeah. So trivia, you can actually put your mango inside your coleslaw, and you can actually also put things like, I know, right, Anthea? You can put mango in your coleslaw. You can also put things like your pineapple as well. And again, this is for a sweet slaw. So the same type of very, very thin movements that you have here, very, 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 very thin. You want them thin? Yes, apples. Danishka, that is absolutely correct. And because this is summer in the Bahamas, I decided on the mango. It's like, we want the mango. Okay? So I cut it up nice and thin. See that? Sorry. Hold on. Right, so you can see it a little bit better there. Cut it up nice and thin. Into the bowl it goes. Oops. Into the bowl. Yes, if you have mangolas, ready. Let me get my sweet pepper, which I don't see on my counter. Oh, because I left it in the fridge. So you also want to get a colored pepper. Now, the green peppers tend to be bitter to the taste. You want to get a colored pepper because the colored pepper actually has more of the sugar. So it's going to tell your brain, ooh, sugar. And we're going to rinse she off very quickly. And we are going to keep this to the side here. And I don't want these to be very, very thin. I don't want them to look like carrots, but I also don't want them to be super thin. So these are going to have a bit of a presence. And I'm going to save a couple pieces of this because I need to dice them for our next to-do, okay? So those ones are going to get diced. I'm going to dice them, put them to the side right now, actually. And into our coleslaw they go. We obviously know that you have your cabbage, your carrots, you know, those other things inside there. So what you want to do is for a sweet slaw, you're going to add your yogurt. I have a rule of thumb, okay? For me, the rule of thumb is for every cup of salad that you have, or for every cup of coleslaw that you have, use 1 tablespoon of yogurt and the half a tablespoon of the vinegar and sugar, okay? So 1 tablespoon of yogurt, half a tablespoon of vinegar, and you just keep adding to it to your taste, all right? You also may want to check it for a little bit of salt. Again, if you're cooking, I say we Bahamians, we eye it a little bit too much. Use your measuring spoons, okay? So I'm actually going to use the measuring spoon for the salt and the sugar. Stop eyeing what you're doing. That's one of the biggest problems that we have. Now, this is going to be it for me for my slaw. But you can add your mayo. Don't add the mayo. Use the yogurt. It's better for your digestive system. All right? You can add your mayo. You can add your yogurt. I feel like I want more mango inside this. And the thing is, as you add the vinegar, it's going to also macerate, and the cabbage is going to make its own water. The vinegar actually helps to preserve it and preserve the color, but the cabbage makes its own water, and because it makes its own water, that gives you that sweet, creamy experience that we absolutely love, all right? Now, I'm looking at the time, so I need to get on with this. We have fish to fry. Yes, the monk fruit sweetener, they have two options. So I have the 8.29 ounce monk fruit sweetener. That's available at Solomon's Fresh Market, and that's about $7. Yes, I know. This is not the sugar that you use for making your switcher, unless, of course, you got it like that. But if you want to have your sugar inside your coffee, if you're more of a coffee person, a tea person, I would say be sure to invest in that sugar because it's a really great alternative and it does not skyrocket your blood sugar. Also, onions, eh? Yes. Again, need onions and everything. All right. Now, let's get we're going to get our shrimp started. And then after we get our shrimp started, we're going to work on our potato salad, okay? Because we got to do a couple things all at once because time is running out. Oh, that's where that was. Okay. Now, sorry, that was me. That was my thinking noise. Yes, it does taste great without an aftertaste. Y'all should see my cauliflower macaroni. Okay, sorry. I was getting distracted. I was very happy. Meat, my cast iron grill pan. All right. Now, I wanted to take us outside so that we could grill, but we ain't got time for that. Besides, it's rainy. We don't know what the weather was going to be like. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to begin to heat up our pan. Okay. Thank you. Okay, we're going to heat up our pan, and I have some shrimpses. These happen to be jumbo shrimpses that I prepared, okay? I only added a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, because shrimp is better when you season it. Don't let anybody tell you differently. Now, what we want to do is put the knife down. And from here, I want to show you a little seasoning mix that I made. It's almost like chimichurri, but it's not really. Let me show you. So I was taping the grill episode of Bodie and Pod, and then I realized, oh my goodness, my parsley is about to die, and I like my parsley. So what you want to do is I took my parsley, took my cilantro, and I took some olive oil. I took just a tiny little bit of vinegar and a little bit of salt and some ghost pepper. I put it in the blender with some garlic, and I made this. You know, the Haitians have like épis. This is not quite épis because it doesn't have everything that they have, but I didn't want my produce to waste. Additionally, when you create a seasoning mix like this and you allow it to marinate your meat, what you're going to do is you're going to keep yourself from using a lot of salt to season with. And I say that because as Bahamians, we just really, really like salt. That's what we do. And we think that in the last minute, you know, oh my goodness, let me hurry up and salt this so I could hurry up and eat this because I'm hungry now. If you manage to marinate everything ahead of time, what you're going to have is a situation where you don't have to rush and oversalt your food. So that's number one. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to take our marinade. This is all that we're going to be using. And you could already see that my pan, I'm happy that you're enjoying it, guys. You can see that my pan is already ready. Now, we're using this for our shrimp because they're going to cook very quickly. So we're going to throw these on here. I actually should have had this pan nice and hot, to be honest. I make those types of mistakes. When you do this, just add a little bit of oil to the pan and then add the shrimp. And then after you add the shrimp, then you should add this oil and green mixture to it so that it doesn't burn, because you don't want it to burn. Okay? And boom, we got our shrimp inside the pan. Guess what we're ready to do? We're ready to mix our potato salad. Rinse that off very quickly. Hold on now. The little dash, it gets a little full. Put more on there. Just like that. Okay. Now, there's a trick to cooking shrimp. And I'm going to sneeze. So if I sneeze, y'all don't laugh. Don't think I'm nasty. Oops. That's ready to come out. So I'm going to turn that off. Oh, yes, Lord. That looked good. Now, for me, there's a trick to potato salad, okay? And I got upset quite a few people in just a second. They tell me come. Excuse me. Can you hear me now, guys? I think I was muted for a second. Yes, okay. So we're going to take these shrimp off of the pan in about 2 minutes. Now, not even 2 minutes. I want us to see something here, okay? I think this is a bit too close to the light, but this shrimp is just about done. It's still kind of open in like the C form. If it gets to the O, then that means that they're overcooked. And so you want to watch your shrimp very, very carefully for that. Because the minute they start to curl up a little bit too tightly, that means that they're overcooked and you're not going to enjoy the experience. We're also going to right now very quickly take this lemon. Don't put the lemon on the shrimp before you put it in the pan because it's going to make it mushy. And we're going to, there we go. And let me find something to put these stuff in because I didn't have it at my hand. Don't look at my cupboard. It's the Bahamian cupboard. Okay. So from here, got it? So you see this one? Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. All right. Sorry, guys. So with this one here, you can see, let me hold it. Come on, stop slipping. This one is starting to curl up a little bit too, for father's sake. Don't fall. This one is starting to curl up a little bit too much, so I know this is ready. It's also directly over the heat. So we're going to take this, we're going to put this inside our bowl, because our shrimp is, this one ain't quite ready yet. Have you here? Look at that. And I wanted to put the fish inside a different pan, but we ain't dirtying up no more dishes today. Look at that rice. Look at that rice. Okay, so here we go. Ready, right? The fish and the shrimp, Jessica, have to taste like the same thing. If you were cooking this on a grill, which I would suggest, it would make it a lot easier to keep some of the oil off of it. But let's just keep in mind that all oil is not bad oil. What I like about having the grill pan itself is that the additional oil settles inside the grates. So you're not eating all of it. You really and truly do need some form of oil. Oil can be healthy, but you don't need the entire bottle like some of us do. And instead of the breaded, deep fried shrimp, go for more of, yes, there you go, Madam Pat. Go for more of the grilled, the baked. I don't like broiled shrimp, but if broiled shrimp is accessible for you, then go for the broiled shrimp. Okay, now let's deal with our potato salad. Did I put the sour cream back in the fridge? Yes, I did. I need to get the sour cream. But while we're doing that, here we have our sweet pepper, and we are just going to, y'all, if I start sneezing, it's because there's no vent in here, and I have the fan off, so I don't know why. This is what y'all don't get to see when I'm editing. So now, I have our potatoes. I want us to look at the condition of the potatoes, because some of us boil potatoes until they mash potatoes. Excuse me. So here, with our potato, it's still firm. Sorry for eating in your ear. Now, the tip is boil your potato in a little bit of vegetable or chicken stock for the extra deliciousness. Also, add your fresh herbs. So let me go get those onions one more time. So we have onions. I'm going to do those. And we have dill. All right. Excuse me, our fish and all the seasoning on the bottom of the fish. Y'all, I'm so sorry for the sneezing. Okay. And that's the pepper, man. That's actually the pepper on the fish. So you want to kind of really, really dice your onions nice and fine. All right. Now, excuse me. Sorry. Let me turn this off so I could live. Now, what we also want to do is we want to take a moment and we want to appreciate this weed called dill. Okay. You boil a potato inside some chicken stock or, excuse me, some vegetable stock. Now, when you do that, what you're going to do is you're going to give it some additional flavor. Believe it or not, we use mayonnaise for flavor. And we use it for the creaminess, but you don't have to do that. So this is dill weed. Raise your hand if you don't like dill. Check my watch just to make sure I'm on time. Look at that. Guess what? Our fish done, shrimp done, rice done, cauliflower done, potato salad almost done. And here we go. No, we're not doing helmets today. Again, we're making things lighter. So we're going to use our dill and we're going to put it in here. And now we're going to make the dressing for our potato salad. I'm looking for a clean container. Here we are. So here, pepper is loosen up all your sinus, man. Look at that. Just about done. Okay, so we're going to put that on the side there while that finishes. Now, you're going to take some Dijon mustard. You're going to shake up the bottle so all the wetness don't come out. All right, Okay, we got it out. And now you're going to take a little bit of olive oil, okay? Stay with me, stay with me, stay with me. Don't go nowhere. Going to take the olive oil, about half a tablespoon. You don't need any more than half a tablespoon, to be very, very honest, because we're making more of a herb potato salad. Now, we have a little bit of salt. Look, look. That's it. No more. And we're going to mix this all together. Now, is it really potato salad if you don't put the egg in it? Like, I need a show of hands if you need egg in your potato salad. Okay. Yes, I see Miss Pintard. Yes, Grandma, you have to have your eggs. Excuse me. Okay, so from here. Oh, Lord, my sinus. I'm going to cut up our egg. Look at that. Yes, eggs are a must. So I'm using the wrong knife for this, so my eggs are going to be all over the place. But that's fine. I actually overcooked my egg too. This yolk's supposed to be nice and, nice and juicy and supple, but that's okay. Who used to fight over the egg when you were small? All right, I'm putting 2 eggs inside here because egg life. All right, now, from here, we're just going to add just a little bit, this whole Dijon mustard situation. We're going to add it, and we're going to mix it up so you can see it. And believe it or not, potato salad is supposed to be served warm, okay? It's not supposed to be served super cold. Believe it or not. I know. Y'all, I know some of y'all are here for like cold potato salad, but really and truly, it's supposed to be warm. It's not supposed to be super cold. Thank you, Deniska. Thank you, Trivia. Okay? We know how to cook inside these here pots. So by using the olive oil, you have a healthier fat. And think about it. Regular mayonnaise is oil as well as egg, all mixed together, right? So you don't need the extra egg, especially if you're going to be doing coleslaw. Now, if we had the time, I would have plated this all nice and pretty for you to do. No, I'm not taking the skin off of the potato. I'm happy that, who's that? Yolanda? I didn't. We actually lose a whole lot of the fiber in the potato when we take the skin off. So you just scrub it really, really well, and you boil it, and you're good to go. And you boil it so that, y'all, this is my potato salad. I can take a pretty picture for y'all, but it's nice. It's still going to be creamy to the tongue because of the type of potato that you use. So it's not going to be a mashed potato salad. Y'all know what I mean. Raise your hand if you know what I mean by a mashed potato salad. Some of us do mashed potato salad. When I have a potato salad, I like the potato salad to have flavor. I don't like it to be salty. I like mustard, but at the same time, I recognize that some people don't like the mustardy taste, and so they try to supplement it with the mayonnaise. Using the olive oil gives you that healthy fat along with the freshness of the dill. So let me clear some stuff off so I can show you all the rice. Barbara, well, you love mashed potato salad, so you cook your potatoes until they're super soft. Is that what happens? I just want to know. And then you mix it together. Okay. Right. So the thing is, you really should not cook your potatoes until they've already boiled away, because then it becomes mashed potato as opposed to, like we said, potato salad. So we'll take everything out so we can see what we're going to be eating today. So we have, let me wipe off the counter. All right. So here, and just in time because it's 7:01, so I'm 1 minute over time, but everything is cooked and done. All right. Lord, look at me, about to break me, the top of my container. Okay, guys, so let's take a look at our chunk. Okay. This is our cauliflower mac and cheese. Tanishka say big Sunday dinner. Yes. So it looks like regular mac and cheese, and you can have it. But because we've also cut out the carbs, then what happens is we can be a bit more allowing with our caloric intake in that way, okay? And then we also didn't add a whole lot of salt. Thank you, Madam Pat. Now, we also have, listen, if this was a TV show, I would have taken a minute. We have our shrimp, and these are a very high protein, low fat option for when you're dieting or for Bahamian food. So you have that. It seems like everybody just wants shrimp nowadays. So I'm just saying, I don't know when shrimp got on the Bahamian list of things to do, but you can't have Bahamian food without just shrimp, apparently. Now, these been washed, by the way. Let's get into our rice that's made in the rice cooker. Remember I said that it's going to look more white than anything else. So, yes, it's going to look white because we didn't cook it the traditional way, but that's okay. Let's think about it like you go to Pollo Tropical and they give you rice with beans, but this basically has little to no oil in it, but all of the flavor of a Bahamian rice, okay? So you have that. Don't worry, I could dress these up nice and pretty. I actually want to taste these, but can't taste them now. Yes, Miss Pintard, I will share the recipes. I have to write them first. But if you tune into my YouTube channel, I think I just did something there. If you tune into my YouTube channel, you're going to see where I have a series that's called the Fresh Summer Series. And in the Fresh Summer Series, I create Bahamian meals, which are lighter, and I also create drinks. Yes, Danishka, you can add browning for some color if you're really into color, but I don't mind not having a lot of color. But I was saying that if you go to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Bodine Pot Show, it's Bodine Pot on YouTube. There's a series called the Fresh Summer Series. In the Fresh Summer Series, I'll be making some of your favorite Bahamian foods. We're going to be lightening them up. This week, I learned for the first time how to use a traditional grill because I want to kind of give my body more food that it will not only enjoy, but it will also help me to meet my fitness and my wellness and nutritional goals in a way. Barbara, you are so welcome. This is our potato salad. Please, y'all, put some respect on Dill's name, okay? Dill is a really, really, really good. Dill is a really, really, really good herb, and it's so good in potato salad, all right? Then we also have our salad. This is our water. Technically, this is our water. Miss Pintard, thank you. And we also have our summer slaw. This is our coleslaw without all of the extra. If you want the creaminess, just add yourself some unflavored yogurt and you will be fine. And our fish. I ain't played the fish, but see our fish right here? Where the lime is. When you hit this with some lime, it's going to be so good. Okay, guys, so our fish has some grill marks on it. It's really good. I want to say thank you so much to all of you who sat with me for an hour and you learned a bit about how to cook. Andrea, this is actually a snapper fillet. I like it because the portion size is already allocated. But like I was saying, thank you guys so much for sitting with me for an hour. We created a whole lot of food here. I have 2 carb options. I have 2 veggie and fruit options. I have another veggie option, which is a lot of, it's a lot of oil, but at the same time, we don't have the oil and the carbs. So I can get 3 servings out of this. And I just want to say thank you so much to Family Guardian, Bahama Health, and especially to Larissa, who is a professional through and through, for working with me, and for you guys for asking me to collaborate with you on such an important goal as this, an important program. You guys have made my week. And I really do appreciate it. So Irene Tintard is asking, how does this source for meal prep? I would encourage you, because cauliflower has its own water. Thank you, Tanya. Cauliflower has its own water. So I would say eat the cauliflower mac in 3 portions, like this actual size. Get 3 portions out of this itself and eat it within 3 days for meal prep. Anything that is macaroni and cheese, you want to eat it within 3 days because it's cheese, okay? Your coleslaw is actually going to keep the longest if you prepare it the way that you see it here, which is without the yogurt, without anything else. I will also encourage you that when you do coleslaw, don't mix the yogurt or the mayo or whatever it is that you have in it when you actually cook it. Mix it in as you want to eat it. And that will allow it to stay fresher longer. All right? This potato salad. Okay, sorry. Got excited. This potato salad, meal prep, perfect. Okay? The watermelon ain't gonna make it past dinner. Cheaper, you just eat it one time. And the shrimp, to be honest, 2 days. I would say any shrimp, any seafood, shellfish really should be heated up on the stove. Yes, I'll plate everything and take a picture, but y'all have to give me some time because I got to clean up before I start taking pictures. And yes, I'll provide them for Bahama Health so that you can see everything that we would have cooked. And just make sure when y'all talk about my rice, please talk about my rice in context, because y'all know Bahamians don't understand white rice with brown beans without the rice being brown. So just make sure y'all let them know we did this in the rice cooker. Y'all know Bahamians, they like joke. I'm already going viral right now for slipping down during a performance. We don't need nobody talking up their neck about my rice. Okay. But really and truly, thank you guys so very much.
Bodine, it was indeed a pleasure to have you, and surely a scrumptious meal. All we need is the address to pick up our evening supper. But thank you so much for sharing. And we will have Bodine's address following at the end of the presentation. But thank you again. Bodine, I don't know if anyone had a burning question for you, whether you wanted to take 1 or 2.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. You can open your microphone, and our moderators are there. We saw questions being popped in throughout the demonstration, but is there a burning question for Bodine before she leaves us? We know the photos will be coming.
Just the address, Miss Rogers. Just the address to pick up the food. That's all.
So that is the burning question. And will be a race to get there.
I will say that if y'all see that Bodine is having an event called Bodine Potluck, it'll most likely be at Kamalini Place. I'll let Bahama Health know and everybody show up. And it'll be story time and food time.
Okay, thank you. Well, if there are no further questions, again, we thank our viewing audience, and we appreciate the assistance of our committee members, our PR team that networks so well with us and for us. So good evening, everyone.